Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. I'm afraid we've got another troll video, so again I'm starting the results right before the game commences. You can see there was a defeat straight away. Marybanks is in the Object 430U, the tier 10 Soviet medium tank, and well, she's about to get trolled by the only troll that actually managed to make it onto her team in this game. It's lance21121. Now, we saw him in the previous troll game. He's in the EBR 90 in this game. He's over there, I think, somewhere. And he's about to troll Marybanks right from the start of this game. Okay, Marybanks is in the game in platoon with Bad Wolf in the T92 HMC. Well, Lance has fired on her straight away, which is against game rules. But thanks to team damage being out of the game, it doesn't do any damage to Marybanks. But if team damage wasn't out of the game, obviously that would have damaged her, taken away some of her hit points, and Lance would have taken damage. But he's going to troll her again. There you go. Rams into her, puts her off course, and he's now doing circuits around her, not allowing her to play the game properly. Being a complete nuisance and idiot. Just doesn't want to play the game. These people won't abide by Wargaming's rules, and Wargaming will not ban them from the game completely. They suspend them every now and then, every time we catch them doing this sort of thing, but they won't ban them, and they should be banning them. They should be banning their IP addresses to stop them coming back into the game again. And he's rammed Marybanks again. Luckily there's no team damage, so it doesn't do any damage to Marybanks, but it stops her playing the game whilst this guy is being an absolute idiot. Now, he's one of the trolls that normally trolls with Nordic Girl and Lord Mouse and the other ones, who misbehave and keep getting suspended or removed by Wargaming. But the moment they finish their suspension, they come back into the game again and try to ruin it for other people. Okay, well, Marybanks has decided to finally get on with the game whilst the EBR 90 goes away, but suddenly she runs into enemy tanks and she's aiming at an EBR, UDES 1516 rather, and suddenly she comes across a T54 and an FE4201 who fires around into her, and you'll notice that all of the enemy are firing premium rounds, heat rounds, APCR. She's being smacked about by just about everyone. She's losing all of her hit points. And yeah, she's not going to last very much longer. She's been tracked, had to burn her repair kit, and look at that, all of the rounds that hit her were premium. And there you go, she's been taken out of the game by the enemy. None of her team, most of the team went on to the peninsula. Very few of them actually went up this way, and because it was such a lemming train, they've all been killed. Yes, the Object 432 has been killed. Bad Wolf is that back there in the T92 HMC. It's not going to be long before he's dead as well, because the enemy tanks are heading this way, and he's been spotted and he's being fired on by the RU251. And he's been killed. So their game has been completely ruined by lance21121 interfering in the game. In the meanwhile, he's actually gone off to the south of the map. He's already got himself 2 kills. If he'd been doing his job properly right from the start, he would have got those 2 kills, and that might have affected the course of the battle. But instead, he had to interfere with Marybanks and ruin her game instead. I guess that's against Wargaming rules, and they should be banned for it. Well, the enemy's capping, and the people on the peninsula don't really seem to be aware of it. Now, that FE4201 that fired on Mary is now moving on to the peninsula along with the UDES 1516, and the RU251 turned up, but he got killed. The T54 is also there, and our last remaining Arty, well, he's in a bit of a pickle now because he's being held against the water by the T54, and it won't be long before he's killed. The rest of the team won't be able to get back in time to stop the capping. We believe it's the EBR 90 and the Wizzy 120 on the enemy team that are capping. And despite the fact that the scores are still about the same, the game's going to be over very shortly. There you go, they capped out to win. And it was a total loss because, and partially because, of the trolling by lance21121. But also because the team did lemming train down one side of the map. So let's have a look at the end of battle results again. So we started with that. You can see that Marybanks, again, lower part of the table, but she didn't really get much of a chance to get some damage on the enemy. She didn't have enough support, and she was held back for a long time by lance21121, and stopped from actually progressing to a position, a defensive position, where she could have actually set up to fire back in a hold down position against those enemy tanks as they came in. But because they were allowed to advance, because Lance was interfering with her, she didn't get a chance to get to that defensive position, and they took advantage of her the moment she was free to move about. So yes, sadly this game was a loss, and it was a loss all down to this player, lance21121. Thanks for watching.